An administrative oversight and tensions between the Home Affairs Minister, Clare and Attorney General Mark Dreyfus are being blamed for the Home Affairs Minister's failure to provide important written support for the latest round of relisting terrorist groups like Islamic State. Our political reporter, Olivia Caisley, has this exclusive story.
It's a key ministerial power protecting the nation from terrorists. But the latest relisting of Boko Haram and Islamic State groups as terror organisations has been overshadowed by claims of tension between the Home Affairs Minister and Attorney General. A June 2023 document provided to the Parliament's powerful Intelligence and Security Committee shows Ms O'Neill did not provide a written endorsement of the relisting. It's a change from the way the process was undertaken just months ago. In October, Ms O'Neill provided written endorsement of the relisting of Islamic State and other groups under the Criminal Code. Shadow Home Affairs Minister James Paterson says machinery of government changes after Labor's election win are to blame.
Bizarre situation where the minister who's responsible for counter-terrorism has no involvement in one of the key avenues for dealing with terrorism, which is a terrorism listing process. What's the point of the Department of Home Affairs and the Home Affairs Minister if they're not taking responsibility for the areas that they've been allocated in the machinery of government changes?
Senior government sources say an administrative oversight is behind why Clare O'Neill did not provide key written input. They say the situation is the latest example of tension between the Attorney-General and Home Affairs Minister over their respective responsibilities. It's understood the next terrorist relisting will follow the conventional path where both ministers formally contribute. Following questions from Sky News about the apparent change, the Attorney-General and Minister for Home Affairs officers say the process for listing and relisting terrorist organisations has not changed.
Olivia Caisley joins me here now. Liv, you've been working on this story for quite some time. What does it all mean?
Well, it's being touted as the latest example of tension between the Home Affairs Minister and Attorney General, and it all stems back to these machinery of government changes that we saw following the last election. So at that time, we saw some of the Home Affairs powers sort of diluted, if you like. So as some key areas such as AFP and AUSTRAC moved to the Attorney General. So Mark Dreyfus's powers were boosted quite substantially. Now, I've been speaking to a number of senior government sources, and they say that those machinery of government changes have been quite a complicated journey. They've been quite difficult when it's come to streamlining those responsibilities. So there are also some within Cabinet who'd actually like to see Home Affairs sort of pared back further, and there is a push by some for that. Now, when it comes to this latest issue that we've just seen there in that report, I'm told that we're not going to see that happen again. When the next terrorist relisting process does happen, it will follow the more orthodox path that we saw in November last year when both Mr Dreyfus and Ms O'Neill had the same sort of formal and written input on that. But Laura, it's not the first time we've seen this. At the end of last year, as Sky News revealed that the terrorism relisting process, the time frame had blown out because it was basically bouncing between both the Attorney General, the Home Affairs Minister, the various departments, and even prior to that, after the Optus and Medibank cyber attacks, the Prime Minister launched a secret review, the Murdoch review, into the government response. And I understand it's because essentially the reporting lines at the time had complicated the government response.
Right, essentially. So if I could distill it down, a power struggle essentially has the potential to affect important government decisions.
Yes, and I think that's one of James Paterson's concerns. He's the Shadow Home Affairs Minister who we saw comment in that package before.
A really important story. Liv, thanks so much for bringing it to us.